Hi everyone, this is Sagittarius March psychic reading for those in love with Sagittarians, to know what their loved ones are up to understand their behavior and attitude better, and hopefully help them get some peace of mind and heart. And obviously for Sagittarian themselves, if they need some more clarity about the energy of March and how that plays in their own life. The first thing that I feel is about both women and men. Sagittarians seem to have had and still go through a bit of an emotional upheaval. They are facing either through that, through the emotional upset, or that emotional upset could be because of things changing in the home and living arrangement. So it's either connected or a consequence. They are planning on gathering their strength so they can have proper honest conversation about it. I feel it's a bit of a difficult block for them that they need to overcome, and they needed the time. They might still need some time to gather their strength and to learn more, not from the outside necessarily. It could be from within. Sorry, let me see if I can show you this a bit better. For them to learn how to deal with this situation. Perhaps they need some extra time to process it, because it seems to have a strong bearing on their family situation. So it looks to me like a bit of a family separation of some sort. It could be either them as parents or between them and their parents. It obviously is different for everyone. It really depends also. It doesn't have to completely relate to all the Sagittarians, but and bear in mind, yes, that it depends on everyone's birth chart, but I do recommend you also listen to your moon sign and rising sign if you know them, for things to make better sense for you. And it could also resonate with most if you look at things in a broader way, because what for some could mean a separation, for others could just mean a separation like proper. You know, it can be that children moving out. It could be that some parents separate and they are moving out, one of the parents. It could also be some sort of loss, like there are as much as we don't like to obviously think about these things and talk about them, there could be some sort of this is for the card that stands not just for family but for motherhood as well. There could be the sad situation of pregnancy loss or abortion, or everyone has, you know, a complete different situation perhaps, but the overall energy is the same. It's what I said before, a sense of separation within the family environment, whether it's them as children or parents. So however, it's not all doom and gloom. First and foremost, because Sagittarians are very strong people, they are very optimistic. They march forward and forth, and they find they gather their strength. So that is really good, and it helps them really, because they don't always have it easy. I know it seems like Sagittarians are the kind of people that sometimes, you know, their emotions don't run deep, but like every star sign, there are the positive traits to a person. Like actually every individual, we all have the good wolf and the bad wolf fighting within us. So it's the same for each star sign as well, and for every person. So back to Sagittarians, I feel that there is communication, they need conversations, they need to have, and massive things happen in their family life. However, what is important for them to know is that these things cannot be avoided. The changes have to happen. It's like sudden indeed, but unavoidable at the same time. And as Robin Sharma says, when you change your life, it's difficult to start with, uncomfortable, it gets messy in the middle, but it'll be blissful in the end. So things are brightening up afterwards for Sagittarians, and they have many opportunities, both with work as jobs or with work as business, if they feel more entrepreneurial, or it could be like a new contract in an existing business, and they are leaving troubles behind. So I feel this applies to both women and men. They also leave troubles behind, not just in work and business, but also in their love life. Their, however, communication when it comes to talking about love life seems to be somewhat difficult. They seem to worry about what to say and how to say, because they would like things to change and to be better, fairer, if you like, as well, and to have the support from people and energies that they deserve. But I do believe that they will have that support actually, and that will help them overcome anxiety, that feeling of being beat and discontent and like unable to fulfill their wishes. Let me see, sorry, I was so paying attention to what I was getting that I didn't see where the camera was pointing. Not that it's important really, because I feel anyway it's not about reading the cards. I don't read them, as you know. It's about the message that I get and the message that I give you. Anyway, back to our reading. So Sagittarians will have the support they have. I believe that gentle, loving communication is recommended, although they worry and find it difficult, perhaps due to what they've been through, perhaps due to the fact that they are not necessarily people that talk about their difficult times and emotions, but things are changing. They have better times coming and better support, both from the energy from the people around, and even not just people that are close to them, but also authorities or people with an authority kind of position that they need support from. Specific for perhaps Sagittarian men, I feel is more than Sagittarian, and obviously not all Sagittarian men, because as I said, you know, we can only be as specific as a general reading can be. I feel this is more for Sagittarian women, and even maybe a bit of a clue, the fact that is for those who have a Virgo or an earth sign woman around them, or a woman who embodies the traits of an earth sign. So she's strong, she's financially stable and able, and manages herself and her life well. Perhaps a good business or professional, business person or professional, but emotionally not so very fulfilled, maybe even a bit single, even if in the relationship there are situations when people are in relationships but feel lonely anyway. So for those types of Sagittarians who do have that kind of person around, or for those who actually embody those personality traits themselves, there is a bit of confusion and they need to get to manage their thoughts and the information. They need more information, because that should stop them from being confused and question a situation coming up. I feel it's a legal situation. It could be a divorce for some of them, or for some who have somebody close to them that are going through a divorce, and they need to learn to manage the situation in a better way, to gather more information, to be more assertive as well, and more determined. I understand that they are looking to get a positive outcome, one that gives them peace and peace of mind, and stops them from deceit. However, they really have to be strong, they have to be determined, and as I said earlier, assertive, and stop worrying so much. Once they know what they need to know, make a decision and stick to it. Let's see if we get anything about this sense of how do you call it, deceit. I feel that is about relationships, and there you go again. As very often I get to predict the card that's just about to come out. So there is deceit in respect of relationships. Let's see if it's them deceiving. It could be them deceiving. It could be people around them feeling deceived, whether rightly or not. It is the way it is. And the advice for Sagittarians is to communicate, handle communication properly as well, handle their fears and their worries, and stop worrying about what's going to be. Nothing happens for no reason. They need to focus on healing, not on what ifs. Everything got to the stage where it got to teach them and us, because we are all after all in at some point in life in that situation ourselves. So everything happens to teach us a lesson, and we need to stop looking back, stop regretting. Life is short. We need to take the lesson from it and move forward in the best possible way. However, it has to be a way that is viable, and a way that we can handle, or they can handle, and they can manage in the long term. Because if they just do something that's a quick fix, but come to the conclusion that is not viable and they cannot manage it in the long term, that deceit may be for the future, not for now. And whatever they feared and resisted persists, and is still going to manifest, purely because they were not able to handle, as I said earlier, their and find their inner strength and handle their situation, and be more determined and assertive about what they have to do for the future. So Sagittarius people, as I said, men in particular, please, is not criticism, is just loving observation and warning for you. Is for you. After all, it's you who's going through all this, and who is going to benefit or be at disadvantage, depending on how you decide. You got to remember, you have to make decisions, you have to stick to your decisions, but also you have to be careful and make sure that you make decisions out of wisdom and inner intuition, strong guidance, not based on comfort zone, on habitual instinct and behavior, or based on the same drama and perhaps even childhood trauma that actually brought you into the present predicament. Anyway, we cannot change anything from the same vibration that created the difficulty. So also, one other warning about Sagittarians. I will see if it's for men or for women or for both. I feel it's for Sagittarians in general. You seem to be a bit confused about the financial future, but I believe that as long as, again, you listen to your intuition, remember, Sagittarians, you do have a very strong ability of healing yourselves and your lives and of those around you, even if not physical healing, although sometimes it can be that, emotional and mental healing, for, as I said, for both yourselves and the people around. So you just need to become aware of that. You need to keep your positive attitude and gut about you. Use your inner intuition, because you're also very good intuitives and psychics. Know that you can create your future and stop worrying about confusion, about being deceived, about having money taken from you. Whatever is being taken from you, whether it's money, whether it's assets, or love, or whatever is taken from you in a conniving way, you need to know that people will pay for that. Karma works so fast nowadays, and of course it's not about you getting your revenge necessarily, although sometimes when you get it karmically without your involvement, obviously it brings a bit of closure and helps healing the emotional wounds. But it's not, as I was saying, about getting some karmic revenge necessarily. It is about also knowing that whatever is being taken from you is also being replaced. And again, back to what I was saying earlier, everything happens for a reason, or otherwise translated, it's always a blessing in disguise. We just need to give it a bit of time so we can understand better the reason why things happen. Now I will ask if there is something in particular for those in love with Sagittarians that they need to know. If there is hope for the relationship. So I'm talking about, okay, so there is hope for change. That's fact. So things are changing, and things are changing in a positive way. There will be celebration and there will be fast communication, but let's see if this is on their side or if this is it comes in connection to family situation and is being delayed initially. So let's see. I feel that affects them, not you, the person in love with them. What do people who are in love with Sagittarians, whether already in a relationship of long term or just hopeful of getting in a relationship, need to know? They feel restricted and they don't feel like communicating. They know changes are coming, but they hope for spiritual guidance. Those who don't believe in God, they hope for something to happen and sort of push them in one direction or another. So they don't have to worry and make the decision. However, it brings us back to what I was saying earlier. So for the third time, Sagittarians, stop fluffing about, make your mind up, make sure your decision is viable and lasts in time, because the way you change your life now is going to affect it for at least 16 years from now on. So be mature, be responsible, but think about yourself first and think about what you haven't had, either as a child and how that might have affected affected your life negatively as an adult. Think about what your inner child craves for. Think about your heart's desire, and feel free to fulfill that. For the first time properly, you are being given the opportunity of doing what you want and what you need, and not put other people first. And that is because if you do that, you act from a place of fulfillment and if you are happy, those around you will be happy. If you are not happy and miserable, you are going to obviously affect people in your life, present in your life, and are going to make them feel unhappy and miserable, no matter how hard you would try. Okay, so again, I feel this is for Sagittarian men more than Sagittarian women, who actually, although Sagittarian women, although are free spirited too, they are more stable is maybe the word I'm looking for. I don't know whether it would be stable, or they worry less, because it's not necessarily more responsible either. They have a certain ease of dealing with whatever life throws at them, and less fear about making wrong decisions and getting themselves into difficult situations. They know they do it, they know they can't do it easily, but they also know they can get themselves out of it, and they have what it takes to emotionally pay the price. So there is a certain bravery about Sagittarian women, I have to say. So I hope this helps you all, and until I see you next time, be loved, be happy.